So over the last 12-ish months, Ubisoft has been kind of collapsing. Things have been rough for them for the last few years, but the decline really picked up late last year for a number of reasons. I've made a couple of videos talking about how Ubisoft is making really boneheaded decisions and that most of the games they've released recently cannot have possibly made their budgets back, or if they did, only very slightly so. The biggest and most obvious example of this being Skull and Bones, which I'm betting you completely forgot came out this year. Yes, Skull and Bones came out this year. It is less than a year old, despite you, like me, probably feeling like that game came out in 2014. I also made a whole video about how they're goofing things up royally with Rainbow Six Siege, which is really their only real shining spot right now. X-Defiant was a step in the right direction at first, but for whatever reason, they're just refusing to treat it like the potential banger it is, so it's making way less money than it probably could. There was also a ton of controversy around Star Wars Outlaws, not only because it looked boring and bland, and apparently hardly anyone actually bought the thing, but there were also a ton of issues surrounding the required internet for installation of physical discs for literally no reason other than Ubisoft trying to erase physical media from the physical media they insist on manufacturing. Gee willikers, I can't imagine why that didn't end well. But it's not like they didn't literally tell us this was coming, because this is the same company that told us back in January that we all need to get comfortable with not owning our own games. So we have to get comfortable with not owning games, but they also need to charge us more than ever for games. I can't imagine why Ubisoft is in the shits right now. It's gaming's biggest mystery. But here we are at the end of September, and Ubisoft has not only confirmed that their next big blockbuster, Assassin's Creed Shadows, has been pushed back to next year, but they are also walking away from their anti-Steam policies for the PC release, and they are also going to be giving away a bunch of the AC Shadows DLC for free, because that's how little confidence they have in people actually paying for it. And also, this is what their stock price looks like right now.
That's gotta hurt!
It was also recently reported by Tom Henderson that Ubisoft is launching an investigation into why they're sucking so much. No, I'm serious. The board is launching a full investigation into the matter when they could have just, opened Twitter or Reddit or YouTube. I love this. This is the most brain-dead corporate headline of all time. Your company is falling apart, you're losing money hand over fist, and instead of just reaching out to your community or paying attention to what your consumers have been very loudly asking you for, you're now having people on the clock investigating the matter as if they're going to find some monster in the closets at Ubisoft HQ, like the problem with the company is somewhere in the building with them and they gotta investigate. Like, what the fuck are you investigating? Again, it was earlier this year that you tried to tell us we shouldn't be owning our own games. That was this year you said that. I wonder if there's any connection between that mindset and the current state of the company. And in case this wasn't very clear, let's take a look at the stock price again. Here's the last 6 months of Ubisoft's stock, but here's the last 5 years. Ubisoft's stock right now is a little over $2, but it was at over $20 a share at the start of 2021, less than 4 years ago. That is an almost impressive nosedive for a company of this size with ownership of IP of this stature. This is the company that owns Assassin's Creed and Far Cry and Just Dance and 50 million Tom Clancy franchises. Genuinely, how do you fuck this up so badly? Well, actually, I can tell you exactly how you fuck this up so badly. For starters, you throw your biggest consumer base under the bus because back in July of 2019, Ubisoft confirmed that the PC was their most profitable platform. But you know what else Ubisoft did in 2019? They went all in on the Epic Games Store, and they even threw some shade at Steam in the process, calling Gabe Newell's platform, quote, unrealistic, and saying that Steam doesn't properly reflect where the world is with game distribution. That was their actual reasoning for leaving Steam, and now here we are 5 years later, almost to the month of that announcement, and Ubisoft has confirmed with their big preemptive apology for Assassin's Creed Shadows they released the other day that AC Shadows is now launching on Steam day and date, and you bet your fat bahookie their other games are also going to be launching on Steam going forward. And like, Ubisoft was already slowly in the process of ditching the Epic Games Store. They've already been slowly putting their games back on Steam because absolutely no one uses the Epic Games Store, and Ubisoft is in no position to try and tell people how to spend their money on the PC. But with this announcement the other day about launching on Steam again, this is them officially admitting defeat. Because if you're in Ubisoft's position, you just threw the biggest lead of all time, and you are finally realizing that. Maybe. Again, like I said, the PC was their most profitable platform back in 2019, and since 2019, the PC gaming space has absolutely exploded in popularity. PC gaming is growing at a much healthier rate than console gaming, especially over the last 5 years. And yet, Ubisoft, over the last 5 years, has made it as difficult as possible for their games to succeed on the PC, because they were exclusive to the Epic Games Store and to Ubisoft's storefront that used to be called Uplay, and I genuinely forget what it's called now. It doesn't matter how much money Epic Games throws at you for exclusivity. If you aren't selling games, you're not making the budgets back. And the fact that you sacrificed your most profitable platform for the sake of grandstanding about Gabe Newell and Steam and buying into the delusion that Epic Games was the future of this industry when anyone could have told you that you were wrong the whole time, it is comical. It was all so avoidable, and you still jumped in with both feet. You fucking deserved this, Ubisoft. And throughout all of this, Ubisoft is continuing to take absolutely no risks with their main games. Sure, they've had some nice high points like X-Defiant and the new small-scale Prince of Persia games, but those just aren't going to make up for shit like Star Wars Outlaws and Skull and Bones and Avatar, all of which underperformed to different degrees. And all the while, they're just refusing to do anything with some of their most beloved franchises. Where has Splinter Cell been? Where has Ghost Recon been? What's taking The Division 3 so long? You had a remake of Prince of Persia: Sands of Time in development years and years ago, and you were even taking pre-orders for it at one point, but now it's just completely scrubbed from the internet. What is going on? Whoever's been calling the shots for Ubisoft, like whoever's been at the top of the chain since 2021, fire them. Fire all of them. Look at this stock price over the last 4 years, look me in my face balls, and tell me that anyone at the top of the chain should be keeping their jobs after this. $20 a share at the beginning of 2021, down to $2 in September of 2024. That is incredible in all of the wrong ways. Every single prediction or projection that Ubisoft has made about the gaming industry for the last 4 years has been completely and utterly wrong, and they've held true with such amazing arrogance that it's almost hard to stay mad at them. But I'm always up for a challenge, so here it goes. Ubisoft, you're terrible at this. And I just can't wait to hear about all the lower level employees that are going to get laid off while the board continues to investigate what's been going wrong the last 3 to 4 years. I fucking love that. Read this headline again. The board is the one leading the investigation. The board's the reason the company is in this situation, but now the board is the one investigating what went wrong. Gee, I wonder if the board is going to get to the root of the problem, or if they're just going to slash operating budgets, lay a bunch of people off, announce another fucking Assassin's Creed game, and then call it a day. But I am a merciful YouTube commentator. I am willing to at least suggest fixes to the problems at hand, and here's what I've got. Here's how I would fix Ubisoft from my armchair. First of all, drop the Uplay requirement for PC ports, and launch everything on Steam on its own. No strings attached, no Ubisoft account. Launch on Steam, let me play on Steam. The PC was your most profitable platform for a reason, and then put your whole back catalog of games on Steam, especially X-Defiant. The fact that X-Defiant didn't launch on Steam is such a missed opportunity. Drop your new games back down to $60, charge at most $20 for season passes, get rid of the fucking Ubisoft subscription service that absolutely no one is paying for because it's the same price as Game Pass with a fraction of the value for some reason, and after you do all of that, you gotta start spraying re-releases at people of the games that people actually like from your history. Like literally just get a whole bunch of re-releases, whole bunch of remasters, price them at $20 to $30, put them in a fire hose, and spray them at everyone. People need to remember why they used to like you. I'm talking the first 3 Splinter Cell games. I'm talking the pre-Origins Assassin's Creed games. I'm talking the pre-Wildlands Ghost Recon games. I'm talking the pre-Siege Rainbow Six games. I'm talking the Sands of Time trilogy. Let Rayman out of the fucking basement cage you've been holding him in for the last decade. And then, crazy idea, this is what's really gonna blow your mind, start greenlighting games that are not the same open world game over and over and over again. It's not cute that you guys have become the open world sandbox company. It's not cute, it's not quirky, and it's not a compliment when people refer to an open world game as being Ubisoft-esque. This company used to have such insane variety, but something happened after Far Cry 3 or Far Cry 4, and y'all just need to drop it. Do all of those things that I said, and then maybe your stock will be worth more than a gallon of milk, you fucking dorks. Toodles.